Okay, so welcome to video number 1 on my road to retiring this YouTube channel. So as I promised, I'll be putting out a few more Kitbash recipes for you guys to enjoy. Okay, so the figure we are looking at is the first edition G.I. Joe Classified Series Duke with upgrades. So this is going to be my personal interpretation of how I want my G.I. Joe Duke to look. So departing from the traditional design of having the bandolier. Okay, so if you're more on the traditional side, then I would question your motive for watching this video. If you're onto this video, then welcome to the channel and welcome to video number 1 of my road to retiring this YouTube channel. Okay, so base body is going to be G.I. Joe Classified Series Duke. Head, neck, the body, arms except for the handsets, and the boots. So man briefs, connector underneath, and the legs, that's going to be Series 1 Duke. The only different part on the base body is going to be the handsets and the boots. The boots comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Tiger Force Outback. The handsets belongs to G.I. Joe Classified Series Grunt. So let's move on towards identification of equipment on the action figure. Backpack comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Tiger Force Outback. Headgear comes from Grunt. Cloth or covered goggles comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Airborne. Vest comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Grunt, but the radio comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Rock and Roll. Belt comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Tiger Force Duke. Holster and pistol comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Grunt with modified leg straps. So the leg straps actually are the straps of this medical gear. So the Grunt medical gear, G.I. Joe Classified Series Grunt medical gear, is a thigh-mounted accessory which I cut off the straps and glued them to the pistol holster of Grunt. Of course, when you do so, you have to cut off the pistol belt of Grunt and do this modification. So that's what I did. Okay, weapon is going to be Action Force Valaverse. So that's CZ Scorpion. The different thing about it is I mounted a scope, which comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series, the rifle of Tiger Force Outback. So, this is my interpretation of Duke. Equipment, right. So we have 4 magazines. For the pistol caliber carbine, we have a secondary weapon, which is a pistol. Medical equipment, which is just mounted on the right side, easy and very accessible. Radio for communication, push to talk on the right collar, knife on the left collar, and we still have the additional accessory, which is the binoculars. Okay, so why is that binoculars mounted on this section? Because actually I placed a hole on that section. Okay, so I cut off the pegs because those pegs are not realistic, but this backpack is one of the best G.I. Joe Classified Series backpacks mold. So yeah, that's why I'm using it. Okay, so if I have the backpack on the back of the action figure, it's hard to have the binoculars mounted on the belt. But if I want to play with this action figure with the backpack off and of course the binoculars mounted on the belt, that is also possible. So just one quick easy modification to have a very streamlined looking action figure. So with all of the right realistic or modern day equipment for a G.I. Joe Classified Series action figure in 1:12 scale. This G.I. Joe Classified Series retro look is good to go as a action figure. No changes needed to it basically if you want to stick to the retro look. But for me personally, the head unit on this action figure, I more associate it with G.I. Joe Duke. But of course, preference, it's according to the collector. But for me, it's personal preference. I prefer the Generation 1. And throughout the years or having kitbashed a lot of G.I. Joe Classified Series figures on this channel, I could note the quality of figures. The Series 1 figures are really hard to disassemble and they really harden very quick compared to the newer generations of G.I. Joe Classified Series action figures. This figure, when you take them apart, you have to really apply high heat for a couple of minutes before you could take the figure apart. Arms, legs, head. But with the newer stuff, they're using quite the different plastic, unlike the Gen 1, which is harder plastic. So preference for action figures, I go with the older versions because if I wish to have a more quality base body, I could find it on the Gen 1 figures. So I have still a few of these head units lying around. So what I'm going to do is to open up this retro figure, take that head unit and replace it with the Gen 1 head unit. So to really complement the retro look. Well, of course, as I have said earlier, it's going to be based on the preference of the kitbasher or the collector. Because what I have in mind for that head unit, take a closer look at that head unit. If you paint the hair of this head unit to black or brown, then you have a really pretty good looking replacement for a Lieutenant Falcon head sculpt. And they still have or share the resemblance, of course, as brothers. So that's what I have in mind. Okay, so changes to the Grant helmet. So I cut off the excess plastic that's supposed to be the strap liners, so the straps too, which impedes the articulation of the head because it's going to always hit the collar line, especially with that knife. Okay, so if you're going to mount the Grant helmet immediately on the Duke head, it's not going to fit because the diameter of the Grant helmet is bigger than the Duke head. So a helmet liner is much in need. So just take any of the straps or loose plastic that you have from kitbashing, cutting off straps on the belt line or on the miscellaneous items on the legs. So just glue them together and form a head liner or a helmet liner. So that is a leg strap from G.I. Joe Classified Series Airborne, so with those goggles. For For a little bit of accent, so I painted the belt buckle black, and I took off the silver paint on the knee guards, but not totally. I just left a little bit of silver on there, and on that line I painted it green. So nothing fancy, just a marker pen. And then after it dries, just put a little dab of clear nail polish so it's not going to wear off easily. Okay, so the Grant body armor, it's missing that computer thingy. For a G.I. Joe Classified Series Duke, I'd rather have that computer thing with another action figure. So with Duke, I like that the body armor is exposed with the magazine pouches and the American flag, of course. So this figure has the flag on the right shoulder. This figure is on the vest. So this is going to be my final version for a Combat Ops Duke, or Field Operations Duke. Okay, so instead of just going into battle with just a bandolier and an exposed chest and head, which would make him terribly vulnerable to getting hit, so he has enough protection: head protection, chest protection, ammunition, communications equipment, and medical gear and survival gear. Okay, as for choice of weapons, well, it's going to be, of course, once again based on the preference of the collector. So I prefer a pistol caliber carbine combination, so pistol and PCC. So what are the different Duke action figures throughout these 2 years that I've been on YouTube? I presented different versions and flavors of Duke, but the ones that I think are going to be retained or displayed are 2. Just for Duke, it's going to be this Duke, or this version of Duke. We also have Covert Operations Duke, and soon we're going to have this guy changed up to a different head unit, so Retro Duke, just sharing one head unit that is going to go to a Falcon Kitbash, which I'm going to make possibly a video of. So this is video number 1 on my road to retiring this YouTube channel.